early, but I thought I would just get some of my stuff together a little early. Hello, hello. Who's joining me? I hope I can see comments. I don't see anything right now. So I'm hoping that when you guys come on, I'll be able to talk to you. Earthquake. Bugging me that my desk mat was laying crooked. Hello, hello. Yay! Okay, there's my first comment. I'm good tonight. How are you? I want to grab some colors for some ocean colors. So while we're waiting for a few others to join us for some jelly fun, let's play with some colors that we can do our ocean in. Yay! I want to get some blues and some turquoisey blues because the water is usually a little bit more turquoisey than blue, I think. So I'm going to play around with a few colors real quick while we're waiting for some others to join us. Let's just see if we can blend these colors. And maybe this might be what we do. That might work. Maybe we'll use that one too. That's the fluorescent colors. Have you guys ever used the fluorescent colors? Let's use that on our ocean tonight. Hi, Brenda. This is going to be our ocean combo. It's going to be super fun. Can't wait. Okay. So, hi, bestie. So tonight, I thought we would play with the jellyfish. So I really love the jellyfish. He's super cute. You can tell I stamped him a whole lot because he's a little bit dirty looking. But anyway, we'll choose one of these sentiments as well. I just haven't decided yet. But this is called the jelly. We have some in the shop. And I thought what we would do is a little bit of an ocean scene, and then we're going to put our jellyfish that we color. We're going to color 3 of them. We're going to put them on here after we make this our ocean. And so that way it'll be a little bit more dimensional. We haven't used our sweet pops in a while, so I thought that would be fun. And the little jellyfish is pretty simple to color. And I already had these ones stamped out, so I thought, why not, right? Why not play with the jellyfish? Plus, I think someone last night said they were coloring jellyfish, so I thought that would be fun. And being that we have 3, we're going to do them in 3 different colors, of course. So I have chosen a yellow green for one, a blue for like a turquoisey blue for the other, and then this one we're gonna do a little bit rainbowish. So I know that's a little out of my comfort zone normally, but hey, you guys know I love to be out of my comfort zone when I'm hanging out with you guys. So I couldn't decide in the beginning when I was trying to decide what I was going to color tonight. I couldn't decide if I was going to stamp them right on the paper and then mask them, so I stamped it on my mask. And then I decided, no, I want to use some sweet pops tonight. I'm going to play with sweet pops. Hey, Mama. And so Linda's watching. And so I decided we would use our jellyfish and we would color each one, and then we'll cut them out and then we'll put them on our ocean scene. So first and foremost, let's color one of the jellies. So I'm going to put my other jellies over here. So I'm going to be all jelly tonight. So I know, Rainbow, it's crazy. What's that, honey? Oh, he's just over there talking to the stuff he's working on. He's working tonight. Okay, so YG67, YG17, YG25, YG03, and YG21. We're going to start with the two solid ones first, and then we'll do the rainbowish one last, so that if people are running late or jumping on, you know, still being tagged now, they won't miss the rainbow one. So, hi Julie. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I forgot to pull out a color for his cute little tongue. So I think we'll use this one. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to start, and we have a choice now. If we're going to do this all one color, I need to choose whether I'm going to do the top of him, the darkest color, or his tentacles. So I think because he's going to be in the ocean and the sun will come this way, that we'll do the darkest part. So we're going to start on the tentacles and work our way up. So starting with YG67. Oh, I should zoom in for you guys. I know you guys like some zooming in going on. So let me get him close. Okay. I'm going to turn him a little bit to the side and try to do it like that so you guys can see where my marker is. Hopefully a little bit. I'm going to try real hard. Okay. So I'm just going to go along the bottom part of these tentacles. Just putting in a little bit of this really dark green. Just get us in some of this real dark green at the bottom. This one gave him a little shape to the bottom of his tentacle, so I'm going to keep that shape going just for a little bit. Same with this one. It's a little hard to color in this direction tonight. What my deal is, I do not know. So there were several of you on here last night. Did you guys see the finished product, or would you like me to show it to you? What we finished last night, because it went pretty long last night, and I have it sitting right here so I can show it to you. So last night we did laundry. This is our laundry girl. She's in the backyard doing laundry. We added a ponytail to her hair to give her long hair. And then we did the whole background. So this video is on YouTube. If you guys started watching it and didn't get to finish, you can jump on over to YouTube and check it out. YG17 is the next color. So moving up the tentacles, smoothing out the transition between the two colors. I'm going up a little bit further in the shadowed areas on this color. Just kind of placing that wherever I feel like it, sort of. So just playing around. It's so hard. You love the ponytail? Thank you. It's so hard for me to not go up here and put some shadow up there, but I'm not going to do it. I am trying to resist. But being that when I normally color, I do that, I really want this to go in the shadow area. I may not be able to resist that. In fact, I don't think I can. So I'm going to put just a teeny bit up here underneath this little body, since those will be darker. This color seems very bright on camera. I could not help myself. I could not do it. YG25 is the next color. So I'm going to bring that together. So the tentacles will be darker than the body because we're almost doing this, even though it's not changing the colors and we're not rainbowing the colors on this one, we're still going to kind of follow that same type of coloring. So he'll be very light up here and dark as he goes down. And instead of that being really as much a lighting issue, it's really as much as a color, just a different color theory that I want to use. That we're going to try tonight. I could not help myself. No, I could not. It happens. It happens. I just couldn't do it. You know? I bet you guys sometimes do that too. Just can't help it. Okay, so since this is my third color, I am going to go ahead and put some of this up here on the top. I'm going to kind of do these little areas here, like his body is folds where these, you know, because it kind of goes like that when it's swimming around. So I want to kind of put some little bumps in here to give him a little bit of personality going on here. He's got a little sassy pants. This is my little sassy pants jelly. He's a super happy guy. Or gal, whichever way you want to look at it. Just filling that in a little bit more. We're just kind of winging this. Who knows? Maybe even our other two jellyfish might come out the same way, but they might not. Yes, that's true, Jamie. If I drew it, I know what it all is. Or what it was meant to be. Might not end up that way when other people color it, which is so much fun to watch as the artist. But okay, so this is our second to the last color. So this is our YG03. So just kind of smoothing him out a little bit. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Smooth out those little tentacles. And then we're going to start going around this little body here. So this little guy is pretty fun and pretty easy to color. He comes along nicely. Kind of using the side of my marker. I hope you guys can see pretty well. I am going to do the top of his head. He is super happy. I just love how happy this jellyfish is. I'm going to do just a little bit on the top, just to kind of show that he's rounded. I really want us to be able to see that. I'm going to do a little bit under his eyes because he's kind of squinting because he's so happy. And then we may have to do a little tip to tip. Sometimes this jump between these two doesn't blend quite as well as I'd like, but we'll see. Or maybe we'll add another color. Who knows? This is all free game tonight. YG21 is next. So just going to fill in these colors. Ooh, they are looking pretty. Looking pretty. We had some storms here last night. A little bit of rain today. It's springtime. He's so cute. He's totally entertaining me. I don't know about you guys. I'm feeling some love going on here. Okay, gonna just fill in this part right here. I like most of this part up here being so light. He almost looks like he's glowing, huh? 21 and 03 works well. Yeah, those are the two colors I was going to be using. But I think I'm happy just the way he is. So I'm going to leave him like that. I am going to go back in with my YG17 real quick. And I'm going to do this back of his mouth so it's kind of darker than the rest. And then here's our RV42 for his sweet little tongue. Yeah. Super cute. He does like look bioluminescent. That's such a big word. He does. So I just waited for it to dry a little bit and went back on the back part of it just to make it look a little bit darker as the tongue goes down his throat. So these are our green colors. I'm going to save those greens to put in our rainbow. So we have one jelly done. This is our green jelly. I see a little out of the lines right here. I usually go back and fix any of that, even though you guys probably can't see it because it's so tiny, it bugs me. So there's my green jelly. Let's do, you colored pastel today. I have not watched your video. I was so busy today. Cheryl Taylor was there. Here is B18, B16, B04, BG05, and BG02. Would Copic work on vellum? That is a very good question. I can't remember if it will. Well, I have some right here. Hold up. Let's try it. Why not, right? Hey, check this out. This is my box of Copics right here. It sits on top of my my box that has all my all my different kind of paper in it. So my vellum is down there. So I will just pull out some vellum real quick if I can find it. And we'll try it and see what happens. I think that you can, but something tells me it won't dry very well. Yeah, that's what I thought, Jamie. I thought it would smear. I mean, you just never know what it's going to do, but I think it usually smears. So here's some vellum. I found it. Here's some vellum. So let me put my markers back on my box. I think I've tried it before, but we'll see. Here's some vellum. This is some Stampin' Up! Vellum. Clearly I don't use vellum that much because this isn't even open. But why not try it? We'll give it some time and see if it dries. So there we go. There's some vellum. And let's just put a few colors on there. Just pretend like we're coloring a little guy. It smears. It probably doesn't blend very well. See how it smears them together? it doesn't, we'll see if, see this doesn't, each time it gets wet, it just makes streaks. So if you wanted that texture, you could do it, but it's kind of ugly. So my thought is, yeah, no. Fail, but good try. Nice to try, you never know. Okay, so I'll put this jelly over here and we'll work on this jelly. So we're gonna start with B18. Hey, I don't mind trying. Everything can't work all the time. So we're going to do the bottom of this one. I'm gonna stick, I think, with making the tentacles the darkest part. Because I kind of like that, them being lighter at the top and darker at the bottom. Queen of Fails lately. I believe I've tried that before, but I can tell you what else I've tried that was very interesting. So I went to this, I have had this group of friends where we go to expos and scrapbook conventions and things like that. And they did a Wizard of Oz theme. So I thought, man, I need some ruby red slippers. Hi, Glenda. Because I'm going to be Dorothy. So I needed some ruby slippers. Well, I went to Walmart to find some cheapo, shiny shoes that, you know, wouldn't cost too much and would be pretty cool. And at the time, they had them in the kids section. By the way, I have really tiny feet, so I can wear kids shoes. And I found some really sparkly, glittery shoes that were silver. And I took my Copic markers and I colored over the silver on the shoes and made them red, and it worked perfectly. So if you got little ones and they want fancy schmancy different color glittery shoes, you can color them with Copics. Yes, you can. So you can color shoes, not vellum though, but shoes. So we're just moving up our little jellyfish. I'm going to put a little bit of dark in there. Just getting him some good shadowing on his little tentacles. We put the darker color up here a little sooner than we did on the last one. But in general, he's going to be darker than the other one anyway. These are darker colors, but still cute just the same. We're going to play in the ocean. Yeah, these blues are going to change just a little bit when we start getting down to the colors. Oh, let's go ahead and do this too right now while we have this one out. It's going to change up a little bit because I chose some BG colors, so it's going to throw some green in there. Yeah. So you can use craft supplies to make it, that's for sure, but you can definitely make ruby slippers with Copic markers. That's what I did. And then we had two Sandys in our group, so they started calling me Sandy Dorothy. It kind of stuck. You still call me that sometimes. It's how they differentiate between me and the other Sandy. So this is much brighter blue than the last one, but still really pretty and very smooth. Really smooth mixed together there. So let's see, a little bit more here. Jamie, you're not quite talkative tonight. Are you listening with headphones? Okay, since this is our true color, we're going to start building that little area around here that we talked about on the last one. So building this up kind of to give him that little part that folds over when he's swimming around. This little guy's going to be swimming in the ocean as soon as I color up the ocean. There we go, up the sides a little bit. There we go. Yep, here for the amusement. I need it tonight too. It was a rough day today. Tons of work. From the moment I rolled out of bed until just a little while ago. I started watching a movie just to relax, but I had to turn it off before it was over so I could go live with you guys. So this is the BG05. So this color is a little bit different. It has a green in it, a little bit of green in it. So you might not see it right away, but you will compared to this here in a few minutes. I don't want to get his tongue colored. So we've got to be really careful when we're going over that. Coming around his face, I'm going to just kind of make a few little uneven strokes here because it helps blend a little better if you have a few uneven like brush strokes on there. It'll just help that last color blend a little better. And then we're going to do under the little eyes because he's all squinty and laughing. What time did my work start? 8 o'clock. But being that it took me until 1 to get my last night's live uploaded on YouTube and everything, starting at 8 and getting up to get ready was a little bit on the rough side. A little bit. Just a little bit. But well worth it. Because I really like how last night's live came out. So I'm super happy about that. Yes, a long day for sure. I did take a brief little, I wouldn't really say nap because I didn't really fall asleep, but I did lay down for about 40 minutes after I got off at 5 o'clock. Just some back and forth motions just to kind of fill in that. I want it to stay light, so I don't want to go over it too many times. I want it to stay pretty light right in the middle of his face. Ha! You might not be able to walk tomorrow. Yikes. Yeah, no thanks. No personal trainer for me. Okay, same color. RV42 for the tongue. Yes, I love my nap opportunities too. My problem is it's kind of a toss-up on whether I can get up once I lay down. Sometimes I end up laying down for significantly longer than I meant to. I do have a temporary job. I retired in October and the company called and asked me to come and help them temporarily. So I agreed to go back and help them temporarily, do some transition stuff. And then somebody else left and now another person left. And so they're kind of hurting pretty bad. So I'm helping out in the interim just to keep it together. I mean, I did work there for 8.5 years, and then I left for 5, and I went back for 11. So I was kind of dedicated to the company. Planks and squats and lunges and burpees, and none of that sounds any bit of fun. Just saying. Now we have two done. So now it's rainbow time. Now these are rainbow, not the rainbow way Jamie does, but the sandy rainbow way. Like I did, a little bit like I did with the little Pegasus. That's the word I'm looking for. Pegasus. So this is going to be a little bit like the little Pegasus that we did. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to start with these green colors. They always do talk you into it, but I am only on temporary. YG25, YG03, and YG21. We're going to use those again. We're going to need 2 of these little holders right here. These little Copic holders to hold all our markers. And then we're going to move into BG02, 05. Where's my other holder? 04. Eek! And then we're going to do, I think actually I'm going to reverse these. I think I really want to do light. I want to do the blue first and then the green. Sorry, didn't mean to confuse you guys. Right hand dominant. Okay, so sorry, I changed my mind. We're going to start with the BGs, the B and then the B and then the greens. And then we're going to do this yellow. And then, or this yellow green. Then we're going to add this yellow, Y11. There's our Y11. You know, I love to use Y11. And then Y13 and Y08. And then we're going to add, this is a lot of colors for a little baby jelly. Then we're going to add our RV34, 32, and that RV42 that we're doing with the tongue. Are we singing any Bee Gees tonight? Okay, so I'm going to put my other holder over there. And we're going to start with this one. And we're going to put a lot of colors in here, so we have to be super duper careful. So I'm going to start with my BG02. This is the lightest one, so our little guy's going to look a little bit different being light down here. So we're going to start with our BG02. We're just going to put a little bit of this in there. So we have so many colors to get in here. So just a little bit with our BGs. Our BGs, music and words and stuff. Okay. She was here. I saw her pop in. She's probably here. Sometimes she's doing other stuff while she's hanging out with us. So maybe she'll chime in. Where is Julie Giles? Okay, so BG05 is the next one. So we're going to just blend those two together. I kind of covered them up a little bit, but that's okay. We'll come back and play with that a little more for blending. So remember when we did that with the Pegasus? See, I knew you were here. With the Pegasus, how we would go forward one and then back one, forward one and back one, just to get those colors to blend really well together. We're going to have to do that with this one as well. We don't want to put too much ink on the paper or it's going to bleed like it did right there. I put too much on there. So we just have to be a little bit careful. Now we're going to hold, we were talking about the BG markers, and Jamie said, who's going to sing the BGs? And she said you'd help her. This one is B04. It's going to be darker. So we will have to go back in and blend that a little bit with the last marker that we used. Well, maybe not on this one, but yeah. Don't want to go over it too much because it'll darken the whole thing, and I don't want to do that. I want them to really just blend well. So we have to be careful. It's a little bit harder blending from light to dark than it is dark to light, for me anyway. Okay, so coming back in with this BG05, doing a little bit of blend out from here. It's going to kind of darken that. It's almost going to look like a little stripe going on there. I'm going to do a little bit of back and forth because I want this to be a little smoother. There we go. So now we have some light, I think, because I went, this is the analysis that goes on in my head when I'm doing stuff like this, and that is that these bottom tentacles, I'm probably going to use that colorless blender to lighten up the ends, but I'll do that after it dries. That's why you don't blend light to dark ever. YG25. So now we're going to move into the green color. We might be able to blend this one pretty good, not have to touch it too much with the other color. It's kind of quiet in the Ledoux household tonight. No grandbaby here. The dog's being quiet. It's not asleep, so no snoring yet. A little bit quiet here. No storming outside. You can't do it ever. It's a hot mess. They're staying alive. Ooh, ooh. I'm not a singer. I can tell you that. My daughter can sing. I cannot. So B04, and I'm only going to use this in a couple of little, well, you know what? I'm going lighter. Let's go back to the BG02, because I think that one's going to be too dark. It's not going to blend them between each other, but this really light one will help with that. Nice. Yep, exactly what I was hoping for. There we go. There we go. Now they look pretty smooth. That's what your brain was singing? I was singing it in my brain too, sort of quietly. Okay, so our next one is going to be YG03. We're going to start getting lighter again now. We'll put a little bit up here too. It's a little challenging when you go in a rainbow format, I think, because you're using 3 colors, dark and light, in each one, and then you have to match depending on which way you do them, you have to match the colors so they'll blend well together, or you'll have a big hot mess. So it's probably more challenging than the way Jamie does it. But you know me, I'm up for the challenge. Okay, moving this one out of the way, moving this one up. All right, now we're going to move on to YG21. All right, you slippery little sucker. I'm definitely going to come in with a little bit of yellow at that top, over top of some of this yellow green. Kind of blend that out really well. Because he has a lot of that yellow green going on down here in his tentacles. But we only have 2 more colors, so we don't want to do too much. Super cute. For her rainbow coloring. Jamie, we always appreciate you. Okay, here's our Y11. Look at you, loaded with the Bee Gees songs. Where's the color priest? Where is she? I don't know, I tagged her. Just putting a little bit of this yellow up here. You probably won't be able to notice it much, but I'm hoping it will just darken that color just a little. We're going to put some in here. So we're starting to move up our jellyfish now. I know that I'm going to need the darker colors to do that little accent that we showed before. So I'm going to go ahead and leave those undone and just do the in-between parts. If that made sense. I hope that made sense. Last time we colored like this little triangles here to show that he was in movement. But I want to do that with the darker yellow. So yeah, it does require a lot of thought. And sometimes I get confused. And then I just mess it all up. So this little jelly guy will build in some darker with the next color. This little jelly guy, he's going to be pink on top. Now we're going to go with the Y08, and we are definitely going to have to use some of those other yellows again. Okay, here we go. We're going to build this in because this is our darkest color in the yellow. So we need a little bit of these built in. I am going to come from here and down into the yellow a little bit. He's going to look like he has a mustache. Okay, so he looks a little crazy now. This little jelly of mine. I am going to try to do a little bit of that glowy to him when we do the background. So that'll be pretty fun. So I'm going back to my Y13 so I can blend this out just a little bit. Make this look a little smoother here. We're going to hit it again with the Y11 as well just to lighten it up a little bit. I don't want these to be so stark, so I'm going over them one more time. Because I want them to show up, but I don't want them to be too much. So I'm going to come in with this Y11. Oh, I forgot to give it to you. Y11, Y11. There we go. We're going to have to use this Y08 for inside his mouth because I like it to be the same color as his body is at that right there. Like almost like you could see through the back of him. All right, last set of colors. I knew a lot of the Bee Gees songs. We had Bee Gees records when I was little. This is going to change the whole look of this sweet little guy because it's going to be putting in some pink color in here, which is going to be super cute. I've decided not to match up dark to dark, which is the darkest yellow and the darkest pink. I've decided to do it the other way. I think it'll still blend well, but we'll soon find out. I'm going to go ahead and do his little eyes right now with this color. I'm going to lose you. You're going to miss the background. Going to be fun. We're going to use fluorescent blue on the background. Going to use our fluorescents. How many of you guys have fluorescents? Do you have any of them? I know a lot of people pass on getting them, but I really like to use them for some of the pop. This is our RV32. So it's going to take a little bit of work to blend these two together, but I think it'll be okay. There we go. It's starting to come together now. There we go. Alright, that's making me super happy. You don't want to go over that darkest part again because then I'm going to lose that dark. He's so cute. Alright, so now we're going to use that RV42, which is a little bit of a peachy pink. You have them all and you use them too? And Cheryl, you have them? Do you use them very often? Look at that. I like that you guys have them. I think that's awesome. Now, using this peachy color over that yellow is going to make it look a little bit orange, and like I used a little bit of orange on this sweet little jellyfish as well. I want to darken that color a little bit. I'm going to come back in, and you know we're going to have to go over it with the yellows to really blend that out. So I'm going to actually use the middle yellow. Hi Rinska, we're doing some jellyfish tonight. Y13. We're going to use that, a little bit of that back and forth blending technique here to kind of blend some of this yellow with that orangey pink. We took a chance with it being, may have to go to the darkest one. We took a chance with it being so light of a color. We're going to have to go back and forth. I see it happening already. But it's okay. I'll get there. I promise. This is not going to be a fail. This is going to be a success. A sweet little jellyfish success. I think what will help with it right now is to darken these colors again. Look, I have a whole bunch of lids open on my desk. So I'm going to darken this top part again because I think it needs to be darker in order for all of this to blend well together. I'm going to darken his eyes again. I'm going to come in with RV32. This type of rainbow stuff, it just takes so long. This is why I'm not a huge fan of doing rainbows, but I love the way they look when they're done. So that blended really well. And then we're going to pick up our RV42 just to kind of finish this off because I think we need it. I'm touching it very, very lightly just to blend these together. And there we go. Looks like he has a bubble on his head. But I think he's cute. I'll take him. I'll run with him. I got to put these caps back on these markers. The right cap on the right marker. RV32. I put the wrong one on this one. 32, 42. We got some Y13. Yeah. This is what happens when you're trying to blend and keep the paper wet. You got a bunch of markers with no caps on them. Okay, they all have caps now. Yay! So we have a blue jellyfish, which I think should be up here. And we have a rainbow jellyfish. And then we have a green jellyfish. So we have 3 jellyfish to play with tonight. Oh, I didn't do his tongue. His tongue. I missed his tongue. Let's do his tongue. Hee hee. I think he needs just a little bit of darkness on his tongue, so I'm going to use the RV34 just to kind of accent this little tongue here. And I think I might do that on these as well. Just to kind of give them a little bit of dimension on their little baby tongues. There we go. So cute. Okay, So the first thing I'm going to do before I move on is I'm going to fix my little mistake over here where I went out of the lines. You see right there, right here. I use my colorless blender and I'm going to push that back in there. I want that fixed before I cut them out. It's your go-to tongue color. I just started using it. I usually use R11, but I am pretty happy with switching that up. So I'm going to have to, we do not have a die for this one, so I am going to have to fussy cut these in order to use them. But I promise I'm not slow. I'm fast. So just talk to me while I cut these out real quick. Okay, ready? Let's start. What do you want to talk about? Jellyfish. It won't take me that long, I promise. I am going to fussy cut them super quickly, but I'm not going to mess them up. When you're fussy cutting, move the paper, not the scissors. You can cut them a little faster when you do that. See, it won't take very long. If I'd have been able to do this ahead of time, I could have done some that were and fussy cut them already. But so I'm so sorry you have to watch me fussy cut. But we can do it. Stand up. Oh, my stand-up shark story. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard that by now. There's a blue jellyfish. So much for the shark story. You move both? I don't. I move the paper. I mean, I guess I move the scissors a little bit, but more of the paper than the scissors. It's a little bit easier. You can keep the straight cut going on. But I am really moving the paper and not the scissors right now. I think I want a new pair of cutter bees. That was fast. You're all still there? Yay! I like that. Yeah, it won't take very long to cut this out. Now, I am going to do a few little, I might do a few little X-Acto cuts on some of these tentacles, but we might just leave them. I haven't decided for sure yet. That'll take a little longer, but it sure does look better. Okay, green jellyfish. And now the rainbow jellyfish. And I did a rainbow. It doesn't look like Jamie's. But hey, I did it. That's why I usually use the really, really light colors. Eva, she knows it drives me nuts. What are you talking about? I missed that, whatever that was. It usually drives me nuts to watch somebody fussy cut and leave that stuff hanging off of it. Once you start cutting and they start having a difficult time getting around there, and I'm like, just cut that tail off. And it makes it so much easier. This one's so little and I'd already cut it all the way down that it didn't really matter that much, but the white spots, yes, I know they drive you crazy. They kind of drive me crazy too. And I do generally cut them off of out of these jellyfish. And I might have to because it just, yeah. So I have the X-Acto ready. We're going to do it. It didn't take very long. We can do this pretty quick too. I've cut X-Acto a lot, so it won't be too bad. But we got to cut these out because this is going to drive me crazy. See how fast we can do this? We can do this really fast. It's not that hard. I usually cut them and then I poke them out like that. Always poke them out back so you don't have the paper sticking up. It's usually how I do it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I still have some more spots, but I wanted to make sure it was cutting it all the way through. That I was pressing, you know, hard enough to cut it out all the way through. There we go. So then we have this one. I really should have gave you guys more space when I was drawing these for you to fussy cut around it, or for you to X-Acto around this, but honestly, when I drew it, I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking about how cute they were. So I usually press down on the back because once you do that. Getting there. Almost there. I'm faster than you. I've done this a lot. I have several different types of X-Acto knives. This one right now is currently my favorite. It changes all the time. Sometimes the other ones are my favorite. I have one that slips on your finger and I really like that one too. I'll show you that one if you want to see it with another one. Let's do a little bit right here, and I think this is our last cut. So not too bad. The worst part is my fingernails get in the way, but the rest of it, no problem. There we go. I see my little pieces flicking all over the place. So now we have that little guy. See, doesn't that look so much better than this? It's just better. Sheesh. All right, here we go. This is my other one. Ready? This one just slides right on your finger like that. And it makes it so easy to cut. But I think my blade is a little dull, which is why I haven't been using this one, because if your blade is dull at all, it doesn't cut very well. So you can see this, the tip has been broken off. So we're going back to this one because it's my favorite and it's faster. I know this is not fun, but it'll be okay. It won't take too long. Unless Dale wants to X-Acto these while I start on the background. He's been cosplay working all day.
Right now I'm crafting, but not crafting.
Oh yeah, he says he's crafting, but not crafting. I asked him what that was supposed to mean. I've never heard that phrase before. Okay, so I'm just crafting and you're crafting. At least he's not making noise. That makes me happy. I think he's done. Are you done with the leather stuff, honey? So you're not pounding leather anymore?
No, I have a few more pieces I need to pound out.
Oh gosh. He has a few more, but he won't do that while I'm live, so you guys won't be tortured by that. Just me. Just me. You guys will be happy to know Jack is doing better. He does not have to wear his cone anymore. He has his appointment next week. I'm super happy about that. Jack's my dog, for those of you who don't know. He wasn't doing very well for a little while, but he's better now. I'm super happy. Good night, bestie. Okay, hold on. Now would be the perfect time for you to grab a drink instead of watching me fussy cutting this last one out. Oh, come on. Almost done. 2 down, 1 to go. Come off of there. I'm trying to rush, so. Good night, Jamie. 1 more, we're almost done. See, it didn't take too long. But it's not really fun to watch somebody fussy cut. But we're going to have a pretty cool background, I hope. Again, it's not a process I've ever done before on a background. I've done an ocean before. We did that last week. Or maybe it was this week. I don't know. All my weeks are blending together. But it's going to be a little bit different. We're not going to do any of the bottom of the ocean because these jellyfish are not going to be on the bottom of the ocean. They could be, but they're not going to be in my ocean on the bottom. So you get to choose your own choice on that. When it's your ocean, you get to pick. So I'm choosing not to put them at the bottom of the ocean. And we're going to use fluorescent. And it's going to be a fast background, so faster than they have been lately. Because there's not a lot of detail because there's going to be 3 jellyfish in the water. So next time I will try to make another set of these so that I can have them cut out already. But that just did not happen tonight. I wasn't sure what colors I was doing until right before we went live. And sometimes I even change my mind right in the middle of it. Good night, Mama. What character are you cosplaying next? You want to show the picture, honey? While everybody's looking. I can't remember. It's from a game, like a video game. What's it called, honey?
Monster Hunter World.
Monster Hunter World.
I'm doing the Azure Star-Lord armor.
Oh God, you better just say that out loud. I'm not sure I could get that right. Say what it is.
Azure Star-Lord armor.
There you go. Azure Star-Lord armor. I don't even know what that is. A mouthful. That is a mouthful. That it looks like this. So he's building this whole costume right now. And all of these blue things and gold things are all leather, and he has to put scales in it by stamping leather. So it's very loud, and every scale is a separate pounding on that leather. So it takes a long time, and it's really loud. And he has to do it in increments because it drives us crazy. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm going to zoom this out just a little bit so you guys can see the whole background while I'm doing it. All right. So we're done. We got fussy cut jellyfish and all the white parts out so Jamie won't lose her mind. Aren't they cute like that, though? Okay, so right now I have chosen for the background BG 18, 13, B 34, and the fluorescent FBG 2. It's only 4 colors, but I don't think we need much more than that. I think this will pull it all together. So we're going to make it darker around the outside, a little bit below, because it's going to be closer to the top of the ocean. We are going to use our chisel end at the marker to fill it in faster and keep it wet. So here we go. This is just no rhyme or reason. It's just going to be coloring it in. I want to make sure I get all the way to the edge so there's no, like, see how that it colors in the side of the paper too? That helps no white to show, so I try to make sure I get that colored in really, really well. So this part takes a little bit because if you do it like this, the white shows on the edge. And I don't want the white to show on the edge, so I have to do it like this and the marker gets stuck. But that's why I'm doing it that way, and it looks like it'd be easier the other way, but that's why I do it that way. Okay, so now we got to get some solid color in here, really wet in the paper. Gonna use a lot of ink. And do the same thing on the other side. Oh, for crying out loud. I'll turn it around and do it this way. Yes, I am getting this on my Tim Holtz mat, which is fine because it cleans off with a little alcohol swab. So I just color right on the mat. We kind of talked a little bit about the mat last night and how awesome it is to color the Copics on the mat. I really like that. Makes me super happy. Okay, gonna get us some consistency in here. So this is really just wetting the paper, getting a lot of ink on there. They're gonna look like they're in a little cave is what it looks like right now. Okay, so let's come in a little bit here. I'm going to do a little bit more on this. This is going to be my bottom part of the image, where my bottom part of the card. So I'm going to do it a little bit darker there because as you go down in the ocean, it gets darker and darker and darker. So a little bit more on that one. Okay. Oh, really? You're ordering the travel size? Yay! You'll really like it. I think you'll really like it. Okay, so our next color is going to be BG13. This one's going to be lighter and still that greenish blue. We're just going to just blend this out. We're still using the chisel end of our color. No worries though, it doesn't have to be smooth because when we come in with the B color, that's going to smooth this out a little bit. Ooh, this one's a little screechy. I don't know why. It has ink. It's not going to like me after though. It's going to be like, oh my gosh, you drained all my juice. Okay, we're going to keep moving in. I hope that's not shaking the camera too much. I'm trying to keep it from shaking the camera. I don't really need a lot of control on this marker because I'm really just putting the color on the paper. So I can hold it way back so you guys can see me filling it in. Now we'd have to be a little more careful if we had already put the jellyfish on there, but we didn't, so we don't. So some of this will be covered up by the jellyfish. Now this one, this B34, it's more of a blue and less of that green color. So it's much more blue. But I think we need that blue because this just looks too green. So I'm going to kind of come in here. Just kind of build this wall where the two of those colors meet. And then we'll go over it again with the other colors in a minute. This is just really blending it out and adding a little bit of extra blue to the picture. Okay, so that was fast. down and dirty. This looks like it's thicker on this side, so I'm just going to go down this one more time. Really smooth that out. Okay. You might want some refills when you work on this one. BG 18. So use some blues when you do it that you don't use as often as the others if you don't have the refills. I have all the refills, so it doesn't matter for me. And I am just going to do a little bit of blending between that blue and this green. It's kind of that back and forth thing. Not putting a whole lot. I am putting a whole lot of ink, but I'm not blending it up a whole lot because I want the paper to blend it for me. So getting a little dark, but I want it that way because I really want to make these jellyfish stand out. I've decided that I may have to add one more BG color, so I think I may come in with BG 11 in a few minutes. So I went ahead and pulled that one out of my stash. This is that blending that blue and this one together. I'm also extending out a little bit more. Because I'm going over this color a second time, it's going to make it darker anyway, so whatever goes out further will always be lighter. If that makes sense. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'd be glad to answer them. I think some other people left. The group got scared off, afraid of that background, or fell asleep. Kind of just trying to build that, you know, get rid of that line right there that's separating those colors. All right. So this looks a lot different because this is dry and this is wet. So we have to wait. Oh, yay. I'm so glad you're still here. So we have to wait a little bit and allow a little bit more to dry. There's a lot of ink on there. As you can tell, I used this, this paper for something else earlier. Okay. So before I use the fluorescent color, I want to put in some BG 11. As a base, so it's significantly lighter, so I'm really just going to keep it on the edge here. And what I'm doing is just laying a base for the next color. Just wanting to wet the paper a bit in here with this BG 11. Ooh, this marker needs some ink. Alright, so that's just the base to wet the paper for us. Now we're going to use the fluorescent FBG2. Yay! I'm glad you're still here, Brenda. So we're going to go in with this fluorescent color. This is where I'm going to try to start smoothing this out. This fluorescent color is going to make it really pretty. It's going to go dark, light, dark, light. I like that. I like this fluorescent color. So could you imagine if we were using the brush nib, how long this would take? It would take a long time. It's super faster this way. Super faster? Super faster. Super, super faster. covering up that green just a little bit, just to tone that down a little bit. Wetting that paper really good. Just a really wet paper. Don't be afraid to put that ink down. This is gonna look like a little bit like they're in a little cave, or just came out of a cave. Get your story good. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? I really like that. So it's a little bit different than a typical ocean scene, if you will. This part again is dry, so it looks, you know, the whole thing's not dry yet. But maybe we'll wet it just a little bit so you guys can see at this one. So this is my BG13 again. I'm just coming in to wet this just a little bit. Oh, come on. Trying not to go off the paper so it won't get, the marker won't get stuck. Just kind of smooth all this out. I do want to just go in a little bit here. And then you'll be able to see how they're going to dry equally well. Dun, 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 dun. We're getting there. Almost done. I'm just blending out these colors. One more here. And then I'm going to hit it one more time with our fluorescent just to make sure that all of that looks good. I am literally going to do a back and forth. Kind of want it to look a little bit like wavy, having the back and forth in there. It also puts some blue in the outside colors. So this kind of gives that shimmer of some of it being water. I think it does anyway, but that's my judgment call. Because when you go back and forth, it almost puts like some lines in it like you would see when you are in the ocean. Some darker colors, lighter colors. Look at that shine. You see that shine from the paper? Some amazing paper right there. All right. So let's see. We have this little jellyfish. And this little jellyfish. And this little jellyfish. And I'm going to make them go all different directions because that's how jellyfish just float around. I'm going to need some sweet pops. They're going to be these, but before I put them on, I want to put that sentiment. So I'm going to stamp that sentiment right on my background before I put my fish on there. My jellies. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this in my Misty. And we're going to have a jellyfish over here. So let's kind of lay them out, how we're going to have them so we can decide where we want that sentiment to be. Yeah, jelly. You can put it up at the top or we can put it at the bottom. Maybe I want it at the bottom, down here. This will be pretty quick. Just want to put a little bit of ink on that. And I'm going to stamp it. There we go. That was pretty simple and easy. Now I'm going to take this off of here. Get my magnets off there. I'll clean that stamp up when we get done. We have you jelly down there. Alright, so what I'm going to do, and I would put wobbles on there. I am popping them up. I would put wobbles on there, except that I feel like they bump into each other, so I don't think that's a good idea. So I'm only going to put one sweet pop on the back of my little guy. I don't feel like I need him where his little tentacles are, because I want him to pop up but not all the way. So when I put that on there, it will hold his little tentacles up. And then on the middle one, that's the rainbow, I'm going to put 2 pops on it, so he's a little bit further out, higher than the other ones. So you can just stack them right on top of each other like this, and then he'll stick out further than the other guy. And then this one will just have 1. So you can double up your pops very easily. So I'm going to go ahead and put these little guys on here. So this one is going that way. This one, I think I'll have him going kind of straight up and down. Kind of like this. And then this little guy who's double popped up, he's got 2 pop dots. He's going to be going this way. So he's a little bit higher than the rest of them. So when you hold it this way, you can see that he really stands up more than the rest of them. So he's special. So now I want to do some bubbles in there. I think there needs to be a little bit of fill in, and you could definitely use you know, embellishment bubbles if you had them, but I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to do them with the colorless blender. So I'm going to take my colorless blender, which is the 0 marker, this 0 marker right here, and I'm going to put some bubbles over here for this guy. So we're just going to start making this little circle. Like, here, let me move my pen over so you can see. Can you see that better? So we're just going to move our marker in a circle like this, round and round and round and round. Okay? And then we're going to do a little bit bigger circle here. And you're just going to keep moving it because it's moving the ink away from that spot. And then I'm going to do a little one right here. And then I'm going to do, for this little guy right here, I like to do 3. I always do 3 dots. I don't know why, but I like to do 3 dots. And I usually scatter them like this, you know, kind of in a little angle. This one, I think I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Look how much you can move that ink. That's pretty cool, huh? Hi, Wanda. So this little guy right here, I'll just keep them, they're all going off the right side of their body. So this one, I'll give him a little one here. And I think he's only going to get 2 bubbles because he's so close to the top. So we can do it this way. And I'll make this bubble bigger. So now we're going to go, see how this one started covering back up, because the colorless blender will sometimes pull the color back in. So you just have to do it again. When it dries, you have to do it again. And each time more of the ink will stay away. So you just do it again, and then the bubbles will stand out more. So now we're going to do this one again. And this one. Notice how it's also building like a dark ring around the circle. That helps as well with making it look bubble-ish. These colors are really dark, so I'm having to go over it a couple of times. Over here, a little bit more over here than over here. So now while that's drying a little bit, I'm going to take my darkest color that I used for the background, which is BG18. And I'm going to outline the bottom of these bubbles. All this is going to do is make it stand out just even a little bit more. You see that? Same with this one. Just putting a little bit underneath it. Same here. And here. And it starts making those bubbles really stand out. The last step for the bubbles that I do is I use the white gel pen. And I go in there and I put just a little bit on the tops of the bubbles. Like that. So now those bubbles really look like bubbles. And that's a super fun and easy way to do it. And if you wanted, you could even put some, what do they call that? Why is my mind drawing a blank? Crystal effects. You could put that over it and make the bubbles dimensional. I kind of like it just like that. I think we're also going to, let's just really bling these little guys up. So I have my white gel pen here, and I think I'm going to put a little bit on these tentacles, just along the bottom, just to give it a little bit of flair. Only around the ones that you can see the very base of the little tentacles. Now that's a little hard to see, but when I pick it up you can see it blinging. So we're going to do that with each one, only on the bottom. Just to kind of make it sparkle. I like the sparkle. I'm going to sparkle the green one too. Just like this, and just like this. And just like that. So now when I hold this up, and let me zoom out so you guys can see it a little better. So now this will be our card. All I have to do is stick it on a card base. This will be our card. And this is these cute little jellyfish swimming in the ocean. You can see the bigger shadow on this one because I popped it up twice. See that? So it really sticks up. So that's our card for tonight. I will post this on YouTube tonight. So if anybody's watching it from YouTube, make sure you click the thumbs up and the subscribe button. And I will be here again tomorrow night with a whole new project. 10 p.m. Central Time. Jamie will be 10 a.m. tomorrow Central Time. I'm so glad you guys like it. See, it's better that I cut the little openings. I'm sorry you had to wait through that painful part, but I think it just looks better that way. thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for sticking out, hanging around. I hope you like it. I might add some bubbles down here so you don't know what's after them. But but anyway, I hope you like that. Jellyfish is in the shop. If you want it, you can go get it. Thanks for hanging out with me. It was fun. Let's do it again tomorrow. Take care. Good night, you guys.